Welcome to Next Weather. I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink, and we're going to be talking about something that has been discussed quite a bit in the meteorological world. The storm tracker team here at Fox 10 has also been talking about it over the last few days as well, and that is the term, the Fujiwhara Effect. It is very commonly discussed in the world of the tropics and has been discussed recently because of Hurricane Umberto as well as Tropical Storm Imelda. Now, overall, it's a fascinating phenomenon that happens when two storms get a little too close for comfort. Think of it as storms dancing in the atmosphere. Now, we could actually be witnessing it with these two storms that I mentioned. Here is a look at our tropical futurecast that actually shows a good representation of the Fujiwhara effect taking place. So we have Imelda coming off the coast of Florida. You see it there spinning, and then just north of it, that's Umberto. And now you see those rain bands getting pulled into that second storm that is off to the north. That is the Fujiwhara effect possibly taking place that is in the forecast. So usually in this case, we see it quite well. The stronger storm usually pulls in the weaker storm. That is why it is really important to understand this, especially as meteorologists, because it can actually make forecasting very difficult. But let's talk about what it is. So the effect is named after Dr. Sakuhei Fujiwhara, a Japanese meteorologist who first described this in the 1920s. The Fujiwhara effect happens when two cyclones, like a tropical storm or hurricane, or tropical storms or hurricanes, interact with each other instead of moving independently. So how close do they need to be? Well, for this to kick in, the storms usually need to be within 800 to 900 miles within each other. So once they're in range, the circulation overlaps and they start to feel each other's pull. Usually the stronger one pulls in the weaker one. So when that pull happens, a few different outcomes are possible. First, the two storms might begin circling around a common point, like partners dancing in a slow spin. Sometimes one storm weakens while the other one takes over, which we could be seeing with Major Hurricane Umberto as well as Tropical Storm Imelda. I will note that Tropical Storm Imelda is likely to become a hurricane in the next day or so as of September 29th. And also, in a rare case, the storms can actually merge into one larger, more powerful system. Another visual way to imagine this that doesn't involve weather is think of two spinning tops that drift towards one another and then start circling around each other. Or another way you can imagine it is when two dancers are holding hands and spinning around a center point. That's another simple way to picture the Fujiwhara effect that doesn't involve tropical weather. So overall, this isn't just a theory. It's happened before. It's been observed many times, actually. A good example would be back in 2017, Hurricane Hillary and Hurricane Irwin in the Pacific got caught in a Fujiwhara dance. And in 2009, Typhoons Parma and Malheur in the Western Pacific interacted the same way. Another easy way to describe this, we actually had the Fujiwhara effect with Hurricane Helene. Now, it merged together with a low pressure system. Low pressure systems on land usually have rain associated with it. Well, that merged with a low pressure system on land, and it actually let the storm maintain its strength as it made its way inland towards the Carolinas. So why does it matter overall? The Fujiwhara effect is important because it can make forecasting hurricanes much harder. Storms' paths can suddenly shift, or storms can gain or lose strength, and impacts on lands can change quickly. That's why meteorologists keep a close eye when two storms are near each other. And we actually saw this weekend. Before Imelda became a tropical storm, its path originally had it going up the Florida East Coast and towards the Carolinas, making landfall near the Carolinas. Well, that path has changed drastically. It actually doesn't look to go up the east coast of Florida as much as it did. Originally, it was going up the coast of Florida and then into the Atlantic. Well, now it looks like it makes its way halfway up the Florida coastline and makes a sharp turn to the east. So we saw this a lot with the path. I know a lot of people were curious about why this path changed all of a sudden, why it looked like it was making landfall in the U.S. originally. That is why, because the Fujiwhara effect is likely going to take place, and our forecasting tools are hinting at that as well. So The Fujiwhara effect is like a storm dance. We've been using that term over the weekend. Meteorologist Nicholas Herboso explained it Sunday night as well. When two cyclones get too close together, they start spinning around each other, sometimes merging, sometimes competing, but always making forecasting more challenging because we never know which one's going to take place. It's one of nature's most fascinating storm interactions, but also the most challenging to predict and to know what's going to happen. So overall, that was a quick, easy rundown on the Fujiwhara effect. It definitely can be hard to understand, and this is a good way to explain it because we don't have that much time on air to give a good detailed explanation of it, as well as real life examples. And then here we have the forecasting tool to also show you that good representation of it. Thank you so much for joining me for Next Weather. We'll see you tomorrow.